This movie is probably going to be one of the hardest ones for me to think about. So, in my last Honest Thoughts video, I did one of the amazing Iron Man film, which I loved so much. Now, just recently today, at the time of this recording, I just saw The Incredible Hulk film that was released back in 2008, so just like Iron Man 10 years ago. So this one's a bit different. This film is basically, whereas Iron Man is about Tony Stark slash Iron Man, of course, this film is about Bruce Banner, otherwise known as the famous monster, the rampaging guy that we all know and love, the Incredible Hulk. Now, this movie's a bit hard for me to think about since for a lot of people, this is one of the weakest MCU films ever. I mean, hell, it's one of the lowest rated on Rotten Tomatoes, having like a 61% on it. Or is it like 62? I'm pretty sure it's 61. But anyway, let's see. What do I think of the movie? I actually like it. I thought it was pretty nice. For one, the Hulk looks so incredible. I mean, no pun intended. Like, seriously, he looks amazing. I mean, the CGI, I'm sorry to say this, as much as I loved Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, it looked nice and cartoony, but it's just that this version of Hulk, like Edward Norton's Hulk, if you don't know, by the way, Bruce Banner is played by Edward Norton. I'll get to that a bit later, but anyway, Edward Norton's Hulk looked too realistic. Looked like a Hulk that you would see in real life. I also loved General Thunderbolt Ross, named Will Smith, who also reprised his role in Civil War, which that's pretty nice. I also liked Betty Ross, which I can't remember her actress, but one thing for certain, she is really nice in the film. I did care about it. And finally, one thing I will admit is that this film is a massive improvement over the 2003 film. Because for those who don't know, there was a 2003 Hulk film which is just, it's not too bad, but it's just so boring. Okay, sorry about that ear rape thing. That's the praises. Oh, actually, there's one more. That final battle with the Abomination was just amazing to watch. And one more thing, sorry, and probably the best part, one of the best parts of the movie, Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., appears at the end of the movie. That is just awesome. That's the good stuff. Now for the bad stuff. This one's a bit hard. This one's kind of obvious. I think this film is just way too dark in my eyes. Whereas the first Iron Man movie, the first film in the MCU, was having a bit of a lighter tone and happy. The second film, which is this film one, had a bit of a darker tone, which is okay since the Hulk is a very dark and mature character. Not really too mature, but if you read the comics, you'll probably know what I mean. He's like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of the Marvel. That's nice. The problem is that the film itself was just too dark. By dark, I mean like Batman dark in a way. Another issue is that some of the acts kind of drag on, and there was a plot element in which was dropped in the third act, and that was the antidote thing. Next off, we have to talk about, that Samuel Stern thing. Samuel Stern is the leader in the comics. Now, when he transformed, he was seen as the leader. Like, we see him turn into the leader. Well, I guess in a way, they're gonna save him for an Incredible Hulk film, but here's the thing that pisses me in my ass. That was the only film he appeared in. That's just... Who knows? Maybe he'll appear in another film soon and later on the MCU. I really hope so, because seriously, I don't want the character to be wasted in a way. But all these flaws can be a bit passable, except for the last one. Probably the reason why a lot of people may not like it is the character of Emil Blonsky, played by Tim. I can't remember his name. Basically Tim, whatever this guy is. Basically or not. I'm not going to go into too much, but basically, in a nutshell, Emil Blonsky is the granddaddy of the entire MCU villain problem in a way. I mean, Ironmonger had that similar problem, but at least he was a bit developed in a way. This guy's just basically just there in a way, which is just sad because the Abomination is one of the greatest villains in the entire comic book industry. Hell, in IGN's top 100 villains, which, okay, by the way, I don't own IGN, but I, like, just to avoid that copyright claim, basically or not, they say that they ranked him at number 54. Which is odd because I read his backstory. I did some research on Wikipedia, which I know is not credible. Basically or not, the Incredible, it was just, I don't know, it just felt, I mean, that's what the problem. They could have made it better, but in the end, you just got a paper bland villain. I mean, hell, and probably what pisses me off is how he kind of transformed. It felt too tame in a way. I mean, at least the final battle did make up for it. And overall, I would give it a 7 out of 10, as in a B minus. I'll be honest. I did enjoy it. It's pretty much a massive improvement to the 2003 movie. But comparing it to Iron Man, it's not my cup of tea. Anyway, just so if you're wondering, yes, I'm gonna be reviewing all of the MCU movies. Yeah, I probably saw a pattern here. I'm gonna review the MCU movies because I'm a diehard fan of the MCU, and also, you probably guessed already, I'm gonna review them up until, well, Black Panther, because that's the latest one right now, leading up to Infinity War. So yeah, keep that in mind coming up. So yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Basically, what I was trying to say is this is a new series, like my honest thoughts video. I never thought I would do a second one today. So anyway, I'll see you guys later on. Have a good time.